Hello and welcome to the Kim Iverson Show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Trump has been found guilty on all 34 counts, felony charges. I have to make a comment about this, and then I'm going to play for you the show that I recorded earlier today before I got on a plane and came to Idaho to visit my family for my niece's graduation. Um, so there will be a show right after this. I just had to jump on camera. I have a little satellite studio that I set up at my dad's house so that I could record so I could come visit often and still do the show and whatnot. You will be watching a show right after this that is going to be about the woke military. It's also going to be about what America is getting wrong when it comes to China and how we combat China. But let's talk about these charges. So I'm surprised that they found him guilty of all 34 counts. The reason being, yes, it is a crime to record for falsifying business records. It's a misdemeanor to falsify business records. Donald Trump certainly didn't pay Michael Cohen over 100 something thousand for services rendered when it wasn't logged and whatnot. So I mean, there's something there when it comes to business records. Misdemeanor, not a felony. The way they made it a felony was they attached it to campaign finance law, and the only way they were able to attach it to campaign finance law was by claiming that they knew why Trump paid off these women, Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels. And the reason that he paid them off was because he was trying to win an election. They think they know why. There's really no evidence to that. There was some maybe pieces. Well, Michael Cohen's testimony was one piece of evidence, but there wasn't really a smoking gun there. So to me, that is right then and there that is scary that they're able to just say you're a criminal because we think we know what you were thinking. Now remember, this wouldn't have been a crime had he just done it because he was trying to spare his wife some embarrassment or save his marriage or spare his children embarrassment. If it was for personal reasons or even for business reasons, it wouldn't have been a crime. It only becomes a felony crime when you attach it to campaign finance law. So it has to be because you were paying off these women in order to win the election. So it's a dangerous road that they've already rewriting this criminal code, basically, dangerous road that they've paved, saying that we can turn you into a criminal by thinking we know what you're thinking. The other thing that this has done is a couple of very dangerous things that I want to comment on. Besides rewriting criminal law, which should be scary for all of us. The other thing it's done is completely eroded our political process. Don't think for a second Republicans aren't going to retaliate. They, of course, will. So now, rather than it being, it used to be smear ads, right? We'd have to live through, and that was even at the time when the first smear ads came out. It was, whoa, what are you doing? You know, politicians are supposed to be nice to each other. They're not supposed to be well, not nice to each other, but they're not supposed to drag each other in their personal lives through the mud. They're supposed to be, you know, they're supposed to be diplomatic about the process, I suppose, and battle it out over ideas, which would be nice. And then they started going after. They started trying to dig up dirt, a lot of dirt. So not just saying, "Oh, well, you're a bad person." Then they start trying to find things in their lives that they could then get them to resign over, and that was another kind of level that we hit. And then it hit this now level that we've seen since Clinton, this impeachment. We got to impeach these presidents. And they went after Trump. They did that twice. And now we're at another level where they're now going to go after all of these politicians for crimes. Now, that would be a good thing in a lot of cases because a lot of these politicians are guilty of I mean, I think a lot of them are crooks. Lock them all up for all I care, left and right. All of them are crooks. They get in there, they get rich, they take lobby money. They don't actually represent their citizens. To me, they commit acts of treason when they actually put a foreign Middle Eastern country in front of this country. There's all kinds of things that we could go after them for. But they don't go after them for all those things because they're all guilty of those. They try to go after each other for things that maybe the group isn't guilty of. This person has stepped outside of the group, and now they're going to go get them for something else. That's what they're doing to Donald Trump. But this has now opened up a big can of worms because they're going to start doing this, and this is the new normal. We now have to get used to politicians having to suit up for lawfare, for battle. That's expensive. Our donations now to political campaigns are going to go to legal fees, not towards actual campaigns. So they've opened up another can of worms, another layer, another level. We've leveled up in the political war, and this is only going to erode America It's only bad for the country. This isn't good for us. Now we're turning into a bizarre banana republic. This isn't good. So they've for one rewritten criminal code, making it scarier for all of us that they could just get us off of what they think is our intent. They have now eroded our political process even further, making it even more dangerous for people to jump into politics. This will certainly scare good people who want to challenge the establishment. This will scare them from ever jumping into the political ring. You have to be rich in order to go into it. I mean, it's just so we've eroded that in that way. The Democrats have ensured Donald Trump's going to win. So for them, that's a loss. That's a big win for the Trump supporters, a big loss for Democrats. I don't think people are going to be persuaded away from Donald Trump because of this, but I do think that this will again, like I said, open up the lawfare in the political world. I think that this has very dangerously eroded American trust in the judicial system, which was really kind of the last bastion of hope we had in our political in the checks and balances, right? We've got the executive branch, which many people don't trust. You don't like Biden, you don't like Trump, you don't like Obama, you don't like Clinton, you don't like whoever it is. Americans are now at war and almost don't care. They really. I'm curious if Joe Biden was assassinated today. Honestly, if Republicans how they would react to that. There was a period of time where it didn't matter if the president was Republican or Democrat, everybody mourned, but I'm not so sure about that today. I'm not sure if Trump is reelected, if he gets shot, if Democrats will cry. They might cheer. I hate to think we've reached that point, but I kind of think we have. And we've so we've reached this point in the political, but this judicial. So sorry, I'm getting back to where I was. The executive branch, people have eroded trust in it. They're also using their executive power way too often. Congress is laughable. They don't do anything. All they do is campaign and take lobby dollars and enrich themselves and write books and get on news programs to make themselves famous so that they can be on magazine covers and invited to the Met Gala or whatever. Um, so they're useless. They're completely useless. The only hope we had still was the judicial system, the judicial branch. And even now, that has been eroded. And that has been largely eroded. I think Democrats have eroded that one mostly. The Republicans used the nuclear option on the Supreme Court, which eroded a lot of trust, but it was Democrats who opened the door to that in the first place when they were using the nuclear option to get federal appointments through. And then the Brett Kavanaugh issue, and then this is causing Americans to look at the judicial system and to say, we don't trust it. And that now has left us with what? Which branch of government are we left with that we trust? And so, where does that leave us as a country if we trust nothing? That leaves us in probably the second most dangerous time in American history, really right at the brink of a civil war of some type. Not maybe not in the same way as the Civil War in the 1860s, but something like that, something that may manifest that that leads us and it might even be um I don't even want to guess honestly because every time I think I know like with COVID they end up worse than what I even vocalize or what I even imagine. So I don't even want to vocalize anything because it'll probably be worse than that. But I'm just thinking it's going to be something bad. If Americans can't trust the three branches of government anymore, if there's no branch of government we could turn to that we actually look at and say, but I trust this. These are the good people. These are the ones who are going to at least look after me. If we can't even do that, we are far gone. And that is what's happened today. That is what's happened today. That is why this is so important. This isn't about Donald Trump himself. This is about the attack on Americans' trust in the political system in this country, in what has been the Constitution and how it's built this country over the last nearly 300 years. And uh, all of that is definitely seriously at risk now. This is very serious. This is very serious. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. This is just a quick reaction. Of course, we've just found out only a couple of hours ago about the guilty verdict. So it's been something to try to process. Um, so I will process this more and maybe talk about this more maybe tomorrow or maybe next week. But I think this is a real shame for our country. And I think anybody, no matter how you feel about Donald Trump, this is a dark moment in my opinion. So
Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson show, which you could catch just by heading to that link down below, KimIversonShow.com. You can watch the full show from what you just watched, or you could catch the full show live Monday through Friday, live streams, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. See you then. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Never miss an episode. Never miss a clip. Never miss a segment. Thanks, guys.